From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Morning Edition.
All right, come on in. Thanks for joining us. It's Wednesday, December 6th.
Let's get it started.
On one side of the Bay Bridge, calls for a ceasefire in Gaza, a community conversation where everyone is resolute about a resolution. Meanwhile,
but we also don't think that she needs to be ready for that right now. She's 8 years old.
Over the bridge in Oakland, the conversation hits classrooms. The lesson plan some feel should be left out of class.
It never ends. There's my gate. There's my barricade that he's running over.
Ghost kitchens, a pandemic innovation. What are they? Why do some neighbors say ghost kitchens haunt their success?
Yeah, it's absolutely my job not to mess this up. I'm kind of like a glorified babysitter at this point in time.
Good news about grapes and hope for crops quintessential to the Bay Area.
I love the fact that he could talk and set the stage and walk into a hostile environment and just thrive.
Midway through the work week, but all eyes put Sunday of success for the 49ers. It's almost playoff time, everybody. Will Debo do it? Let's check off another day.
Lee just makes it look easy out there. Good morning, everybody. I'm Reed Count. I'm going to pretend like I can do that.
Yeah, it's December football, and the Niners hitting their stride just at the right time.
Oh, I see Vegas in the distance. I feel it. I see it. Good morning. I'm Gianna Franco. I see some rain coming.
Yeah, so the storm system, Jessica, she's been telling us about it for days. It has brought heavy rain, landslides, and flooding to the Pacific Northwest. The Coast Guard also rescued 5 people from flooding in Washington. So why are we showing you this video? Well, this storm system is headed our way. Let's take a live look outside on this Wednesday morning. And oh, look it's our friend, the fog. And I told Jessica in the makeup room today, I did a deep dive on the fog yesterday. The Chronicle had this article all about the fog, and I had no idea.
I had so much fun with you this morning listening to you talk about Thule fog and radiation fog. I was like, this is my jam at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Over the weather.
But I called it Tool fog, and Jessica was so nice. She's like, it's Thule fog.
You also said radioactive fog, and that just made my morning. But hey, guys, if you want to talk about fog at 3 a.m., you know exactly where to go. Let's talk about what's happening for us heading into this afternoon. As we extend into this afternoon, well, it's going to be a rainy one for us here in the Bay. So despite the fact that we're starting off with some clear conditions in certain pockets of the Bay Area and 40s in the forecast for us from San Jose over into Redwood City, later into this afternoon, it's going to be wet, it is going to be cool, and it's going to be breezy as well. The reason why we have a huge area of low pressure bringing in a very strong system that's been giving a lot of rain up into the Pacific Northwest. We just talked about it a second ago. And I want to show you what that looks like for us as we extend into the next couple days. How much rain we can expect, how heavy it's going to hit, where it's going to hit. Well, let's start talking about this. This system right here, it's going to kind of squish together some winds in the atmosphere, and it's going to bring in gustier conditions along our coastline. Low pressure just to the north of us, causing that motion in the system right here. Watch what happens as we extend into the next couple hours. Starting off just around 10 o'clock, this will move its way in kind of like a windshield wiper as we head all the way into our afternoon hours. Heavy bands of rain expected with this system, anywhere from the North Bay down into this peninsula, stretching its way into the Santa Clara Valley as we head into the 1 o'clock hour. Now notice as it moves its way inland, it actually loses a lot of energy. Drier air all throughout the Sacramento Valley will help start dissipating that as it moves its way up into the Sierra, but that will produce a little bit of snow up into the Sierra, about 2 inches expected there. Back here in the Bay, it clears up into the evening hours tonight, and we roll into our Thursday forecast. Starts off mild, light scattered showers in the forecast, heading into the early morning hours and afternoon hours on Thursday. More on that and how much rain you can expect in your local area coming up in your first alert forecast. For now, over to you, Gianna.
All right, Jessica, thank you. Let's say hello to some brake lights this morning at the Bay Bridge Toll Plaza. Doesn't look so great as far as traffic goes, but hey, you can actually see the freeways a lot better today in some spots than, say, yesterday. Yesterday, this was just socked in with a lot of fog. Not the case today. So if you're headed into the city, it's slow. It's the usual stuff. No crashes or issues there. That fog, though, settling in across the Golden Gate Bridge with a fog advisory in effect, and it will affect your drive on parts of 101 in and out of Marin County. So definitely keep that in mind and get ready for those slick surfaces as you head out and about later on today. Just give yourself a few extra minutes on the roadways to plan for that. Westbound 580 in the Altamont also busy due to a crash near Grant Line.
Well, your community station this morning following the local impacts and opinions about the war in Gaza. So there was a PIX San Francisco Board of Supervisors meeting. It went on for 7 hours. Look at this. The people you see inside the building reacting in one way or another to a ceasefire resolution that was introduced by Supervisors Dean Preston and Hillary Ronen. So we want to give you a picture of just how packed the place was. Watch.
The line here was so long that it wrapped around the entire second floor of City Hall. How long have you been waiting in line?
3 hours. And we have not lost steam. We're still going. And I'll be here as long as it takes.
So what's in the resolution causing so much conversation where we live? It really echoes calls for a ceasefire. It demands humanitarian aid to Gaza and the release of all hostages. The resolution condemns all racially or religiously motivated rhetoric and attacks, but there's some reaction to it. Listen.
I am here as the granddaughter of a Holocaust survivor who knows that my safety as a Jewish person and the safety of my loved ones in Israel is bound together with the safety of their Palestinian neighbors.
I've lost over a dozen members of my family in 2 months. This is absolutely a genocide.
That was inside. Now, this is outside City Hall, where people called for the hostages still being held by terror group Hamas to be released. And really what you're getting here as we tell this story is a picture of a divided Bay Area. Think about this. Inside, 2 supervisors for the resolution. Outside, 3 supervisors joining State Senator Scott Wiener and others with reminders about what happened after Hamas killed and kidnapped in Israel. And we're just getting started. It's really unclear right now how many supervisors support or will vote against the resolution. It went hours, in fact, right up until our 11 o'clock broadcast last night. We don't know when they're going to vote on it. You know, those in support hope that the resolution joins a chorus of other Bay Area cities who have done the same. Nicole?
Pro-Palestinian protests put off the annual tree lighting ceremony at the state capitol, at least in person. The governor says he now plans to host it virtually tonight for the safety of the participants, especially children. And today, a group of teachers at OUSD is planning a teach-in for Palestine. We don't know how many or at what schools. What we do know, it's meant to teach kids about the war from the perspective of Palestinians. Our Lauren Tom spoke with some parents who are worried that the lesson will fan the flames of anti-Semitism.
Rationally, I'm not worried. Emotionally, everything has me worried right now.
12 hours before the start of his daughter's next school day in Oakland, parent Dave Furfuro was still weighing whether to keep her home on Wednesday.
We want our daughter to be a critical thinker. We want her to know what's going on. But we also don't think that she needs to be ready for that right now. You know, she's 8 years old. She needs her math, her English, and her socialization.
He says he feels helpless as a parent, raising a daughter who is part Israeli, facing the possibility of being seen or treated differently by her classmates.
How do we, as parents, interject ourselves to either protect our children or to give our children a sense of balance?
He says the climate is so tense, his girlfriend has stopped speaking Hebrew to their daughter in public, and now they're looking at other schools.
It leaves us questioning, if not OUSD, why Oakland? What are we going to do here?
And he's not alone. Shira Avath is the mother of a 7th grader at Montera Middle School and says they've already placed a transfer request after experiencing anti-Semitism in the classroom.
Right now, we're playing it day to day, to be honest with you. If push comes to shove, I don't want my son to be exposed to this any longer.
She says she's left the decision to attend school on Wednesday up to her son, but supports him showing up in support of his Jewish and Israeli identity.
Honestly, I'm kind of torn, and so is he, because he's proud of who he is, and he wants to make sure that he shows up and represents.
For Furfuro, he's split on the decision, but is steadfast in his belief that the classroom is not the best place for any demonstration to be held.
I understand wanting to be on the right side of history, but with all the sound and fury coming from their protests, look what's happening to the community you're a part of, the community you're committed to fostering, the one you swore to protect, to teach, to nurture. And just look around. Take stock of the damage you're doing here. There's a whole community of Jews in Oakland that just no longer feel safe.
Hoping for a peaceful resolution both inside and out of the classroom.
The Oakland School District Superintendent says the lesson plan is unsanctioned and warned teachers against it, adding that she is disappointed by the harmful and divisive materials being promoted as factual. Sean Chitness is live this morning with more on what teachers are saying about their classes today. Good morning to you once again, Sean. It's a heated debate on both sides.
Nicole, good morning. And we are hearing from those who want to be a part of that in the classroom, or at least believe that it should happen. We did hear from parents as well as the district on the concerns that they have. Teachers saying, though, that this is a conversation that is going to happen no matter what. So let's at least have educators try and guide students through it. Now, the lesson plans that are available to give us a sense of what will happen with this teach-in are coming from members of the Oakland Educators Association. And this group of teachers say they want to focus on Palestinian resistance and liberation. Their material and the effort is not affiliated with the Oakland School District, as we mentioned. CBS News Bay Area did obtain a document revealing the lesson plan over the weekend, and it does outline options for all grades, including art and film, as additional materials to talk about the conflict. One teacher who isn't necessarily participating in the teach-in and wants everyone on the same page when it comes to this curriculum says he hadn't heard of this plan until yesterday, but explained to us why he still sees a value in this kind of approach.
The teach-in is essentially a series of lessons and activities meant to support students with their knowledge on the Israeli and Palestinian conflict, and to allow them to essentially form their own opinions off of facts, so they can make arguments about the situation on their own.
And that teacher went on to explain that while he's unclear what he will do in his classroom related to these lesson plans, he does plan to be ready to talk about it if anyone asks any questions. He also was unsure as of yesterday how many other teachers will be taking part in this teach-in. Nicole, back to you.